It's time to create our delete function. We're just going to define a function in our controller that will be self.delete. Will look just like the one we had above, no params for now. And then we'll call an event factory.delete event. We'll pass some parameter, we'll have our then function with data and the error function as well. Which is our standard implementation, okay? Let's go back to our event list and we'll add in our ng-click, we'll call self.delete, so it will be manager controller.delete. And now our parameter will be the $index. $index can be used inside ng-repeat to identify the index for a specific element. We'll do this for tests now, and we'll create our delete function around the $index, and then we're gonna change it again, and I'll tell you why later on. So our param will be the index itself. We're going to call the delete event by passing the index, and that's done. And in our event factory, we can just copy the create event function, replace it with index, call it delete event, and the parameter will be the index, and we're going to call the delete API. So far so good, yeah? In our ngmock, I've already created a placeholder that we're gonna change to be consistent with what we're trying to do. So instead of having this for loop here, we'll just use the index. So we don't need it. And instead of calling that event to delete, we'll call it event by event index to delete. I have my randomizer. We're gonna add the crazy error inside here, crazy delete error. And then we'll call events.splice index, which is our event index to delete 1. I think you are familiar with the splice functionality, but you can check it. So that should be it. And we can also return our events array as usual. And that's fine, okay? So in our delete event, we can do the post-processing. I'll just copy the one I've done for the update event. So it's gonna be identical. And in my controller, I'm gonna use that to populate my array. So it's gonna be again self.event list equals data, okay? In case of error, we'll have our alert, an error occurred, okay? Anyway, this alert will never be displayed and the error will be suppressed. We'll have something logged in the console, but we don't care about it because we're using return false. I'm gonna remove it straight after we test our code. So we can go back to our application and I can delete the first event, and as you can see it disappeared. I click on the second one and it disappeared as well. And when I click on the CDC event, it doesn't disappear the first time, so in the console we'll have something like not array, okay? When I click again it will go, so I can remove all of them. So this implementation works. But what happens if I try to filter an element? So like, say that I want to search for all the events containing the letter A, so I have only these 5 records being returned, okay? So if I try to delete the PS10 launch event, number 4, and I click on it, whoops, something got deleted, but not the event I was trying to delete. And that's because on filtered arrays, we should never use the $index. Well, that's because it's not an actual index as you might think, it's an index of the way the ng-repeat is being displayed. So if we use it to delete something in our JSON, we might end up deleting the wrong event. So let's refactor our code to use the recommended way. And according to what most people think, and in general I can appreciate this kind of approach, I will use the element itself. So we'll use the event in its total. So we can go back to our delete. This will be the event again. That's done. in the event factory we can get rid of the error, because we don't care about what happens when the error is returned, we don't want to transform it in any way. Okay, our parm will be the event itself, we're gonna pass it, and in the mock we're going to do something different. So this will be again event to delete, and we're gonna write a for loop. So it's the one that you have seen previously and I've deleted, but we're gonna rewrite it again. So it will be high equals 0, high less than events length, high plus plus, and inside our loop we will do a comparison. So we'll check if the events array at our index, and specifically is id, equals, and we use the strict comparisons to our event to delete. Okay, dot id. We're gonna do the splice, so we will copy this here, and that will be the splice of the events array at our index. Okay, this should be a semicolon. Let's double check what happens in our app now. I'm here, I'm about to delete the Metallica event, and it's gone. I delete the last one, and it's gone as well. So far so good. But now let's try to filter again our array, and let's delete the ID number 4, so the PS10 launch event. So boom, it's gone. Let's delete the Bruno Mars one, and it's gone as well. So our event delete function is now working fine. So I suggest that you stay away from the $index in case you have filtered ng repeats, and deal with something different like passing the wall item and then write your own function to find the element.